developmental measures, PCK measures on the topic of photosynthesis at high school level. Given the guiding questions on the agenda for today, my presentation will focus on how our conceptualizations of PCK has guided our development of PCK measure. So in this project, we conceptualize PCK as having two dimensions, the understanding and enactment. So understanding refers to what teachers know, and enactment encompasses what teachers do, what teachers believe, and why teachers do what they do. And to measure teachers' understanding dimension, we develop survey time measure, which is to estimate teachers' PCK level based on their scores on paper pencil test. And to evaluate their enactment level PCK, we developed Rubric time measure, which is to measure teachers' PCK based on classroom observations and their our pre and post instruction interviews. So individual teachers' PCK scores will be calculated as the sum of their scores on PCK rubric and PCK survey. And at each level, we conceptualize PCK as an integration of 5 components as shown in this model. Since PCK is a very complex construct and it's hard to measure all 5 components at a time, we decide to focus on only 2 components, which most scholars agree with as being critical components of PCK, which are knowledge of student understanding and knowledge of instructional strategies and presentations. And I think we agreed with these 2 components yesterday too. So also this approach is supported by previous research conducted by Rowan and his colleagues, which demonstrated it's possible to measure and predict the whole structure of PCK by measuring some part of PCK. So in this project, we took the stance that PCK is specific to topic. So in order to consider this nature, all the PCK survey items are related to big ideas of photosynthesis. And although the rubric takes a generic form, I think the topic specificity is embedded in the rubric by nature. And then we also take a stance, PCK is specific to individual teachers and context. So in order to take into consideration this nature, actually PCK rubric is a set of criteria for each component of PCK to be measured. So in order for scholars to evaluate individual teachers' PCK using the rubric, they have to consider the given context, the given teacher, and a given topic. So I think the quality of the scholars and the scoring training is critical to ensure the validity of reliability of the measure. And also in survey, when we score teachers' responses to open-ended questions, we didn't make any normative judgment on which orientation is better than others, which teaching strategies are better than the others. Instead, we look at their pedagogical reasoning, the soundness of their pedagogical reasoning, what knowledge bases they use to support their pedagogical reasoning. That's our criteria. So this is the overview of each measure. The PCK rubric consists of 5 elements of PCK across 3 different instructional stages: planning, implementation, and reflection. And each element uses 4-point scale. So the first score of the whole rubric is 36. And we established a certain level of reliability and validity of this rubric measure. And then we have been through 2 rounds of development revisions of validations of PCK survey. And PCK survey, the latest version of PCK survey includes 6 classroom-based scenarios, and it consists of 30 items, which is a combination of 21 dichotomous questions and 9 open-ended questions. And the possible full score is 100. The typical sequence of questions is like for each classroom scenario. First of all, we ask teachers to identify what misconceptions, what learning difficulties they can identify in the given classroom scenario using dichotomous questions. And the next question, they are asked to reason out why the students often have such misconceptions and learning difficulties by using open-ended questions. And then they are asked to talk about what kind of teaching strategies or representations they used or would like to use to deal with such misconceptions or learning difficulties in open-ended questions. That's a typical type of our survey items. So we have been trying to look at the live reality of the survey, and we think there are many ways we can validate this measure further. So we plan to do further validation for this measure in 3 ways. The first of all, we are going to look at the relationship between PCK score and the quality of teaching practice. To look at the proportion that PCK predicts the quality of teaching practice. We have several specific ideas, but I don't have time, so I can talk about it later. And then the next, we're going to look at the relationship between PCK score and CK test score for a particular topic. So to look at the proportion that PCK and CK are related but distinguishable. The last one is we're going to compare beginning teachers' PCK scores with in-service teachers' PCK scores to look at the proportion that teaching experience impacts PCK development. I think in order for us to claim this measure, actually measure PCK, I think we need to go through further validation process, and these are our plan. And throughout the course of this project, we encountered a lot of challenging questions, and I want to share a few with you today. The first one is, by nature, the measure PCK takes on a normative stance in which some form of knowledge are more highly regarded than others. But as I said before, when we scored individual teachers' responses to open-ended questions, we didn't look at which strategy is better than others. And we just look at the coherence of their ideas and soundness of their reasoning. But a lot of research, demonstrates constructivist student-centered learning is effective for student learning, and our aim is to promote student learning by, through PCK and other avenues. Then I think we should consider that aspect in measuring or assessing teachers' PCK, but that contradicts the essence of PCK, the essential nature of PCK, context-specific, idiosyncratic, such nature. So that's kind of dilemma. How can we make a balance between those 2 aspects? So I don't know the answer, but we are still struggling with this. So we came about with this idea: what if there is a core part of PCK, which we call indispensable PCK, which is necessary for all teachers to teach a particular topic across all, contexts. Then our life can be easy, right? So, and there are other idiosyncratic PCK. Now, in our project, we try to capture the whole structure, including indispensable PCK and idiosyncratic PCK. That makes a lot of that causes a lot of problems and dilemmas and issues. So what if we can define what indispensable PCK is? Then we could have more better ideas of PCK and its relationship with the variables associated with student learning. But still, the question is possible? So the simplest way, I was thinking about what if we just define PCK is a blending of content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge. Then think about how we can define indispensable PCK from that perspective. So what is indispensable content knowledge? Then I can answer a little bit. They're drawn from big ideas, canonical science. But what is indispensable pedagogical knowledge? Then I cannot tell. We have pedagogical knowledge we discussed yesterday. There are some teaching strategies everybody agrees to be effective for student learning, but there's still a small piece of research. So I don't know. We can identify this in the construct. So those questions keep asking me why I want to measure PCK. Why should I do it? Because it's so hard. So actually, when I designed this research, actually the Kaga's concept of ecological validity actually inspired me to design this research. And she said researchers should establish ecological validity by providing kinds of evidence concerning the relevance of teachers' performances on a particular task or test to classroom life, such as to their classroom behaviors or to value the student outcomes. Actually, that was so powerful to me, and I think this is the critical step to establish ecological validity. And let me bring back Joe's model we talked about at the first day of the summit of core PCK research paradigm. I think this trying to assess teachers' PCK and measure PCK is an important and critical step to move from description toward causality and further toward mechanism. I think we should understand the precise nature of PCK and its relationship with variables associated with student learning and the mechanisms through which teachers enact their PCK understanding and the student outcomes as a result of teachers' implementation of PCK. So this is my purpose of doing this quant research. And